So today's practice, no matter what time it is for you, it should be either like a good end of the day, midday, or maybe a good wake up. So um, we're gonna start on our back. I posted in chat, you might want to block for lizard pose later, but you definitely don't need it. It just helps. So it's up to you if you want to grab something like a book or a dictionary. Um, but we're gonna start on our back. You can leave your feet planted, your knees pointing up towards the ceiling. Let your arms hang long right next to you. Make sure that you're muted. And then go ahead and close your eyes. We're gonna start by taking some deep breaths in and out through the nose. Take a nice long inhale. Nice long exhale. I need to keep taking really big breaths. I want you to feel your back press into the floor with every inhale. Feel your belly button drop towards your mat as you exhale. Really start to turn off your mind, turn off all the thoughts, and arrive in the present moment. Stay here and keep breathing. Just gonna change the camera. Take another deep inhale through your nose. Deep exhale through the nose. And then I want you to bring your right knee in towards your right armpit. You can take your hand and place it on the back of the thigh, or you can do peace fingers around the big toes or grab the outside of the foot. Those are your three choices for a half happy baby. Now, if this feels good, you can stay here. If you want a little bit more, you can start to release the left leg down, sliding it along your mat, flexing that foot and really pressing it down onto the mat. So the wider you bring your right foot, the more of a stretch you might feel in that right hip. And you can keep your eyes closed here if you want. Just try to keep focusing on the breath. Deep inhale. Deep exhale. Make sure that you can still feel a connection between your mat and your entire back. If your left leg is long, I want you to bring that left foot back to the mat. We're going to transition to a reclined pigeon. So I want you to bring that right ankle gently over the left knee. Pick up that left foot off the floor. Take your hands and wrap them behind the left thigh. This left leg should be pressing in. Right leg should be pressing away, that right knee. And then you should feel a nice gentle stretch in the outside of that right hip. I'm going to kind of focus on the hips today. We're in day 2 of NaNoWriMo. We're going to be sitting a lot. Sitting makes our hips get kind of tight, creaky, so we're going to open them up today. Take one more deep inhale through the nose. Deep exhale. And then you're going to plant the right foot onto the ground, turning towards the left. You can bring your arms out to a T if you have the space. Right knee is pressing kind of up towards the ceiling. It might be a little diagonal, that's fine. If you can, turn and look over the right shoulder. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Gonna quiet the mind, clear some space so that we can bring in some fresh, new, good ideas. Take one more deep breath here. Deep exhale. And then come back to center. I want you to uncross your legs. Make sure your feet are about hip width apart. They're entirely on the ground. We're going to take a bridge pose. So your arms are long beside you. Press into your heels and lift your hips. You might walk your shoulders underneath you a little bit. You want to make sure you're lifting your hips, but also your upper back. It's also off the mat if you can. Really press into those heels. Just going to hold for one more breath. Deep inhale. Deep exhale. Go ahead and gently release your body to the floor. Go ahead and windshield wiper the legs, and then we'll take those same stretches on the left side. So come back to center. So half happy baby on the left. When you're ready, lift your left leg. Knee comes in towards the armpit. Again, you can grab onto the back of the thigh, peace finger around the big toes, or just grab the outside of that left foot. If you lengthened your leg on the right side, I encourage you to try to do the same thing on this left side. And if you want, you can bring your hand to your hip as you try to really keep that right leg long and on the ground as much as possible. Both feet are flexed. Taking nice, long, slow, deep breaths. If your mind is wandering, start to notice the connection between any part of your body and the mat, or any other part of your body and your hand. So use that feeling, that connection to keep you here in the present. So now we're going to transition to that reclined pigeon. So if your leg is long, go ahead and bring the foot back to the mat. Cross that left ankle over the right knee. Lift the right foot off the floor. Clasp the hands around the thigh. Make sure both feet are flexed. Left knee presses away. Our right knee is pressing in. You might notice one side was tighter than the other. It's pretty normal. Take a deep breath in through the nose, out through the nose. One more time, deep inhale, deep exhale. And then when you're ready, we're going to take that twist on this side, bringing the left foot down into the floor. If you can, bring your arms out to a T if you have the space, and then turn and look over the left shoulders. Deep breath in, deep breath out. And when you're ready, come back to center. Uncross the legs. Make sure they're hip width apart. Bring your arms out long next to you. We're going to take bridge pose one more time. So press into the heels. You can walk your shoulders under. Warming up those glutes. And we're still working on our hips. We're lengthening our hip flexors here. And And go ahead and gently release yourself to the floor. From here, we are gonna move to tabletop. So you can rock and roll yourself up to tabletop, or you can just roll over. However you wanna get there, take that transition. I'm just gonna rock and roll up to the top of my mat, come over my knees, and I want you to place your hands under shoulders, knees under hips. We're gonna take cat-cow. So you're gonna drop your belly as you inhale. Exhale, round your spine, press out of all 10 fingers. Inhale, drop the belly, gaze forward. Exhale, really curve that spine, press out of the shoulders. As you inhale, without moving your hands, see if you can pull them back. Feel a greater stretch in your rib cage. Round your spine. Just take a couple more at your own pace. Warming up that spine. And then come back to that neutral tabletop position. So from here, we're gonna take bird dog. Really important exercise to do, especially if you ever get back pain. So we're gonna reach right arm forward, left foot kicks back, press into the heel, and gently release. Opposite side, so left hand, right foot, and release. So keep going at your own pace. There's no need to do this fast. In fact, the slower you go, the better. Working on a little bit of balance here. Warming up our core. And wherever you are, take one more on each side. And gently release. Come back to tabletop. If you need to, you can wiggle it out. And then from here, we're gonna take cat-cow lunges. This is one of my favorites. So you're gonna bring right foot to the outside of right hand. Left foot, tuck your toes, lift that knee. So on the inhale, you can come up on your fingertips too if you need to. But on the inhale, you're gonna gently drop the back knee, lift your heart forward. As you exhale, straighten the front leg, straighten the back leg, and fold forward. Feels really good. Inhale, drop the back knee, gaze up. Exhale, fold. So keep going at your own pace, following your own breath. Do what feels good for you. If this doesn't feel good at all, you're welcome to hold a lunge. We're doing this to warm up our hamstrings before we take a half split. So wherever you are, just go ahead and take one more of each. And then drop the back knee, untuck the back toes. Let's just hold lizard here. So this is where you might want your block. So if you want, you could take a block or a pillow and come up. You could have two blocks too, but one of mine is holding up my laptop. So this is where you might want to block. Otherwise, I also recommend using your fist to help keep the pressure off your wrist. We're not going to stay here long, so just take one more deep inhale, deep exhale, and then walk this foot to the center. We're going to shift our hips back for half split. So if you want to open up the ankle a little bit, leave the foot on the floor. Otherwise, flex that front foot. We're going to fold over. Make sure that your hips and your back knee are in line, so you don't want to come back too far. But we're just gonna fold over that front leg. Don't worry about getting your nose to your knee. Just think about having a nice long spine. Should feel a really nice stretch in that front leg. Take one more deep breath here. Deep exhale. And then rebend that front knee. And then we're gonna keep walking it over for pigeon. So you might, if you have a wall, you're welcome to hold on to the wall or maybe your block, but you're just gently gonna heel toe that foot to the other side of your mat. So right foot is on the left side of the mat. Gently, very gently, bring yourself down, take your time, no rush. And then get yourself situated. So you wanna make sure your hips are facing the front of your mat. You might notice one, especially the right one, trying to come forward. Make sure that they're even. Gently come down, and you can stay here, or you can come onto your forearms, or you can walk your hands all the way down. If you do have your block and you find that this right hip is not touching the mat, you could also maybe put the block underneath it if that makes you more comfortable. But we're just gonna hold here. Let's say for 3 deep breaths. Taking nice, long, slow inhales and exhales. Focusing on the breath. Any additional thoughts come up, just gently nudge them aside for later. If you had your arms down long, I want you to walk your hands back up. But we're gonna make our way back to tabletop. So just slide that front foot back and meet me at tabletop. So we're gonna do that again on the left side. So for cat-cow lunge, we're gonna bring the left foot to the outside of left hand. Tuck your right toes, lift your right knee. Remember, you can come up onto your fingertips if that's easier, or even use your block. But we're gonna inhale, lift our heart. Exhale to fold. Inhale. Exhale. So just take a few more, following your breath. Or just stretching however feels good for you. Take one more. And then we'll drop the back knee, untuck our back toes. We're gonna walk that foot to the middle. Straighten that front leg. I'm gonna flex my foot because that's what I did on the other side. And we're gonna fold down with a nice long spine. Remember, your hips are right in line with that back knee. Taking nice, long, slow, deep breaths. This feels intense for you. Use that feeling of uncomfortable to keep you here in the present moment. One more deep breath in, deep breath out. And then you can rebend the front leg, place the front foot on the floor. And then again, we're gonna take that pigeon pose. So gently walk the foot over to the right side of the mat. Gently bring yourself down. Take a second, make sure that your hips are in line. Don't worry too much about the angle of your front shin. But if you stayed upright on the first side, stay upright here. If you came to your forearms, try to do the same on this side. And if you came all the way down, see if you can come all the way down on this side. And as you breathe, see if you can release a little bit more tension. You might be holding on to some tension in your hips without even realizing it. So see if you can just let yourself drop towards the mat. Don't hold on. And keep focusing on that breath. Take one more deep breath in. Deep breath out. And then if you were all the way down, walk your hands in. And I'll meet you back in tabletop. From tabletop, bring your knees out wide. Send the hips back. Walk your hands forward. Child's pose. I want you to hold here and keep breathing in and out through your nose. And then slowly start to walk your hands back up to sitting. We're going to take reverse child's pose by bringing our hands behind you, fingertips towards the body. So you're going to lift your hips if you can. Let your heads roll back. Open the throat. Should feel a nice stretch on the front of your thighs and in your shoulders. Go ahead and release the hips down. Come to kneeling. I want you to turn and face the long side of your mat. We're going to take kneeling half moon and gatekeeper pose. Only going to make you do it once on each side for time's sake. I want you to come all the way up. You're going to take this is my left leg. Toes are facing the long side of the mat. You're going to inhale, reach all the way up, and then lean towards that long leg. If you can, try to rotate your chest. It might be a little difficult, but really trying to open the side body here. On your next inhale, come back up. Right hand comes to the mat. Keep your shoulders stacked, so open that chest up towards that far wall. And you're gonna lift that leg. So make sure that you're really pressing out of this hand. And really lift this leg up. And go ahead and release. And rise, and then you could bring the foot back in. Nice work. We're gonna do that on the other side. So right leg nice and long, toes facing the long side of the mat. Inhale, reach up. As you exhale, lean towards that leg, stretch out that side body. Take one more deep breath in as you rise up. Exhale, bring the left hand to the mat, and you're gonna lift up the right leg. So this is kneeling half moon. And go ahead and release. Nice work. You can come back to kneeling. You can actually come and sit all the way down. From here, you can bring your right leg in front or your left leg. It doesn't matter. We're gonna switch. I want you to sit up nice and tall. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Inhale, reach up. And then exhale, fold over that front leg. So you should feel stretch in your glutes here. Or maybe not if they're not that tight. We're just gonna hold for a few breaths. If that gatekeeper to kneeling half moon got your heart pounding, take a breath here. It always gets me a little sweaty. Go ahead and walk your hands in. Let's switch our legs out. Make sure the opposite one is in front. Sit up nice and tall. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Inhale, reach up. And then exhale, fold. Go ahead and walk your hands in. You can leave the legs where they are. Sit up nice and tall. We're gonna take a seated twist. So left hand to right knee. Make sure you're sitting up tall, and then you're gonna turn towards the right. If you have this space, I don't, you can bring the right arm long behind you. Otherwise, just bring it to the floor behind you and look over that right shoulder. This is a great one to do at your desk, or if you're sitting on the couch, or even if you're writing in your bed. You can just sit up nice and tall and take a twist. On your next inhale, return to center. We'll do the other side, so right hand to left knee. And then we're gonna turn towards the left. And look over that left shoulder. Make sure you're still following your breath. It's probably the only time today you're gonna think about breathing unless you meditate later. Go ahead and release. The last one I want to do today is eagle arms. So reach your arms out nice and wide, all the way back. Feel that chest stretch, and then cross the right arm under the left. You can leave your forearms here, or you can try to bring your palms together. But we're gonna lift our elbows and press the hands away. If this is not in your wheelhouse, you can also just grab opposite shoulders and again, lift those elbows. If your shoulders are really tight, this might feel really intense. But just take one more deep inhale, one more deep exhale. And let's take one more deep inhale, deep exhale. And then release the arms out wide. And opposite arm underneath. Lift the elbows, press the hands away. If you're doing hands on your shoulders, I think you keep your hands the same. I had to check, sorry. Keep your hands the same, but do it again. One more deep inhale. Deep exhale. Go ahead and release the arms out and give yourself a hug for being here today. You deserve it. I hope that you're ready for your word sprint. I feel more awake and ready. Hope that's the same for you.